Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran, and I find myself here today talking about the American comic book industry. If you guys will, please look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Doing this video on my own solo today, but scrolling through the Marvel solicitations, and I was like, oh, here's a cool Deadpool Wolverine book, World War III, Adam Kubert, Joe Kelly. Sounds like a really good book. Sounds like smart publishing. Let's put this out right before Deadpool 3 featuring Hugh Jackman in yellow Wolverine suit. Makes a lot of sense publishing wise. And then I kept scrolling this and I come to ask myself, what is the point of Marvel publishing anymore? I'm buying a lot of old books now. I'm going backwards, purchasing a lot of omnibus stuff like that. So I'm scrolling through here. I'm like, maybe I want to dip my toe back in on what Marvel's putting out today. And I come across a lot of Deadpool stuff. Makes sense. It's time to capitalize. A lot of talk out there of the new X-Men relaunch, which looks DOA, dead on arrival. I don't feel like even Tom Brevoort's talking about not a lot of people coming in. And it looks like there was a quick pivot. Like they basically cobbled together this lineup in like 10 days or something like that. It's very, very weird. And full list of those X-Men books came out yesterday. And one of them, super woke, Storm being a politician. And I come across this. Again, this is really getting me in this weird spot. Like, what is the purpose of Marvel publishing? Blood Hunt. Maybe you've never heard of it. We're ordering issue 3 now, which means issue 1 is already out. We're about to come out. Why is nobody talking about Blood Hunt? I don't know. Maybe it's the first time you've heard of it. This is a vampire thing, and you guessed it. It's supposed to put Blade in the spotlight. Supposed to get a lot of people talking about Blade. Why? Okay, well, maybe that's okay. Maybe Blade's fun. But this is an event. This is not just any event. This is a over 40 issue event, a summer event. A summer event, for people to understand in publishing, Marvel and DC usually want a summer event because the idea is like kids are out of school. They're going to read comics, except nobody reads comics anymore. I'm not even sure adults are reading comics. And I sure as shit don't think kids out of school are reading comics. But we're still in this repetition of putting out a summer event. Blood Hunt event is over 40 issues. 40 issues ranging anywhere from $4.99 an issue to understand a story about Blade and vampires and how Blade fits in with characters like Thor, Captain America, Vision, Spider-Man. Okay, I get Spider-Man, but Doctor Strange, sure. Some of these characters don't have anything to do with vampires. Scarlet Witch. Here's the list of books that you would need to buy. X-Men Blood Hunt Jubilee one shot, because Jubilee and vampires very important. X-Men Blood Hunt Magic #1, X-Men Blood Hunt Psylocke #1, new #1s, Werewolf by Night. That makes sense. And again, I was a big Ghost Rider fan. I remember Rise of the Midnight Suns, Blade being pushed out there, Morbius. I understand that. And I know it's hard to sell a Blade comic. And I know it's hard to get Blade to mix in with the rest of the Marvel universe. And that's okay. Maybe you shouldn't mix in. Why would Marvel really be this hung up on Blade that you would force retailers to buy a book or give them the option of buying no books or buy these books? Well, it's a lot like the Deadpool Wolverine book, except the Deadpool Wolverine book actually makes business sense. This doesn't. This is for a movie to prop up Blade that nobody knows when we're getting this movie. This movie was supposed to be part of Marvel Phase 4. It is now kicked down the road to what will be Marvel Phase 6. So long story short, tons of script problems. Nobody really knows what the problem is. Marvel wants a movie up under $100 million, which will be like an indie Marvel film, which is going to be problematic. I think the biggest problem is Disney trying to kill vampires. I don't think Disney is the company to do a movie about killing vampires. I just don't see that working out for Disney. They'll probably have a sensitivity reader for vampires or something, or identify as vampire. Who knows? But this movie was supposed to come out in November 3rd, 2023, and now it's getting kicked down the road for a hypothetical, we don't even know if it'll be there, 2025, November 2025. Marvel Comics is running Blade Blood Hunt all through the summer books. Everything's vampires, everything's Blade, everything's Blade's daughter, all of this. And guys, I like vampires. And again, I'm going back. I love Ghost Rider, Rise of the Midnight Suns, all of this stuff back in the past. But this, and expecting this to be the big event that nobody seems to be talking about. This is not healthy for the American comic book industry. And the point of this video, again, me going through the solicits, I start to notice Marvel Comics is there to do whatever Marvel Studios or Disney wants them to do. There's a Scrooge McDuck book here in these solicits, and I like Scrooge McDuck comics, but it's a play on the Infinity Dime, the Infinity Gem, whatever. Can Marvel be a comic book company again? Or are they a brochure company that wants $4.99 for a brochure? I think that's where we're at. Like, it's got to be hell to be a comic book retailer right now when you're giving this as your options and you have to take your clientele and convince them that, guys, Avengers and vampires and Blade, okay, okay, comic shop guy, why am I getting into this? Because Marvel needs you to care about this character before they have this movie. And oh, by the way, the movie's in 2025. Why? Because the director walked off the film or something like that, or they're having budget problems, or the movies are just flat out tanking. But you need to buy these comics. If you are a comic shop retailer, this is the biggest shot to the nuts because this is months of publishing plans at one of your tentpole like publishers that you prop up your store, that keep the lights on in your store. And it's like it's Blade. You're lucky if you can sell one Blade comic. You're lucky to smear Blade across the line and then put out things like Union Jack. Let's roll out some other characters that are a hard single issue sell. Yeah, dude, it's got to be a living fucking nightmare to be a brick and mortar comic shop today. Like, how do you sell this? And how do you convince everybody, guys, we have to go along with the mouse. This is what the mouse wants. And the only thing anybody's barely talking about, and in my honest opinion, it's not really that much, is the new X-Men relaunch. So this is already dead on arrival comics because now Marvel's like, let's go on to the next thing, which is our X-Men relaunch, which again, I hate to say is there for the X-Men franchise that they're getting ready to roll out into the movie verse, which is probably going to be hinted at, I would say strongly in this Deadpool film. So is Marvel Comics just there to service the mouse or the movies? This is where it gets really interesting. What if superhero fatigue and God forbid Deadpool 3 bombs? Are they kicking Blade down the road just wondering do they want to not make these movies anymore? Like, from my understanding, Deadpool 3 is the only movie coming out this year that's a MCU movie. Like, are they about to just pull the plug? People are walking out test audiences on Captain America 4, and they're gonna have to do reshoots. If Marvel is there to service the other part, basically the movie, the media, the video games, what happens when that well dries up? Can it go back to just selling comics? Or will they just pull the plug on Marvel Comics together? I think if anybody at Marvel has any type of weight still that they can put their foot down and just say, guys, we're going to make entertaining comics that people can sell and people are interested in reading. Now's your time because you're getting ready to get boxed into a corner where it's you guys didn't sell comics. But wait, we were making the comics you told us to make. Yeah, but you're the publisher here. Why didn't you tell us that this was bad to publish? Maybe you guys don't serve a purpose anymore. I get that they're living paycheck to paycheck, earnings quarter to earnings quarter. But at some point in time, somebody at Marvel has to have some sort of publishing integrity and say, we know what people want. And it's not vampires over an event with that art to prop up Blade. Okay. Nobody read an Avengers book because they cared about Blade. Okay, maybe a Spider-Man book, sure. Maybe a street level hero like Deadpool or something, sure. But 40 books, 40 books to prop up Blade and vampires? Are you absolutely insane for a summer comic event? And that's the big thing with these big crossovers. They're jumping on points, but they're also jumping off points. And this has got to be a huge jumping off point. Maybe this could have been a miniseries that went through 3 books like the old Rise of the Midnight Suns in the 90s. Maybe Punisher, if you didn't fuck that character up with Blade, sure. But not this. This is way too much, way too expensive for a character that you probably don't care about. If you're a Marvel Comics fan, you kinda okay with Blade, or you really love Blade, but you don't like the Avengers. You know, these are 2 parallels. Like, why would you like Captain America and like Blade? I mean, it's possible, but do you want those 2 together? Do you want to see Thor and Blade shoulder to shoulder fighting vampires? No. How would that even work? Why would Blade even be necessary? You know, is it possible X-Men have crossover with vampires and that was cool? Storm was a vampire, that was cool. Things have worked before. This, I don't think so. If you guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, let us know what you think about this content. Also, Extend Level Up, our own independent comic, is up and funding on 9livescomics.com. Go check it out. It's superheroes and video games, a perfect mashup. I'll leave you guys with the trailer explaining this book and catch you guys again with another video.
I dream of a world carefully crafted, beautifully flawed. This is Axcend. In this game of life, there is one thing that determines a victor. A player's ability to grow. A player's ability to evolve. A player's ability to survive. My name is Dog. Choose to play. Choose to upgrade. Choose to level up. Choose to Axcend.